Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Otterbox Commuter case for the HTC One M8. You may be asking yourself why get a case for the HTC One M8. It is a resilient phone. It has a solid build quality. Well, sometimes you just want that little extra layer of protection, and that is what the Commuter case gives you. Now, the Commuter case, in my opinion, is a 3-level system. To start, you get what might be a little difficult to see, which is a self-adhesive screen protector. As you can see with all self-adhesive screen protectors, you end up with air bubbles if you don't perfectly put that on. They're pain, but they are replaceable. Now, the Commuter case is going to be less protection than your Defender case from Otterbox. Now, Defender case is going to give you full phone protection. Commuter case is for somebody like me who wants to have that extra layer of protection that's more than just a back cover and that is still easily taken out of the pocket and put back into your pocket. Now, before we get into the other parts of the Commuter case, I should mention the other components that come with the Commuter case. So you've got a little card to help you put the self-adhesive screen protector on, as well as a wipe to wipe down the screen before you put the screen protector on. You kind of need that just in case. So the other components are the synthetic internal rubberized layer. You'll notice that it does have on all of the corners extra protection. Now that's very good, in case you drop it on a corner, you want there to be extra protection on those corners to, absorb the shock. Now, I did get a Commuter case for my S3 back in the day, and this is what the S3 Commuter case looks like. Internal rubberized gasket looks like. If you notice, I would say that Otterbox has upped their game a little bit with the quality of rubberized materials. It's not quite as floppy as it was for the S3. You'll notice also that there are cutouts for your LEDs, camera, and microphone on the back. So that is part 2 of this. Next is the polycarbonate outer shell. Really, it's just a fancy term for hard plastic layer. Again, compared to the previous version that I had, it still maintains that high quality polycarbonate plastic shelling. You'll notice again on this one there are the cutouts with slight accents around the LEDs, ultra pixel, and the ultra pixel camera up top. So the fun part about an Otterbox, if you've had any in the past, is trying to put it together. So I'm going to attempt to do this around the camera just to give you an idea of how to do this. It is fairly simple, at least with the HTC One M8 here. You just slide the rubber internal layer around. Now, this is one thing that you will notice, which is a concern when I first got this case, was would it cover up the speakers? And it does not cover up the front-facing speakers. The rubberized layer does not. You'll notice there are your cutouts. Next is the the polycarbonate layer. Cover there on the bottom, you're going to start with that. So this way you don't have to worry about working your way around that little lip there. So you slip that through first, and then just slowly work your way around the Otterbox. So there we've got the port covers there. And I know this is probably cinematic gold, but like I said, it's one of the trickier parts to do, and it's also difficult to do around the tripod. But there you go, your intact Otterbox Commuter case. So, as you can see, even with the the polycarbonate backing and rubberized parts on, you still have full access to the LED and ultra pixel camera. I can tell you that the LEDs are fully accessible, and even though it looks like it comes very close to them, you do not lose any of the light from the LEDs with this case. You'll notice the mic cut out in the back as well. We're going to come over here to the front. As I said before, it does not prevent you access to the speakers on the front. and you have that nice lip around the edge of the screen, which if you put it flat down, you have a rubber seam which lifts the phone slightly off the surface. So if you put it face down, you don't have to worry about scratching the front, even though you do have this plastic cover there that will prevent scratches as well, but it's a little added protection. Now, the one problem with having the gasket is it kind of stops your fluid swiping motions, because you hit and it stops, and it just makes it a little awkward, but the protection level is worth that little bit of awkwardness. Now, at the top, you'll notice there is a cutout for the power button. Now, at first, I was wondering why that was. Now, with Otterbox, they say full coverage. Notice the side buttons are completely covered in order to keep dust from getting onto your phone. Well, this is done because HTC One 8 has a IR blaster at the top. And I was concerned because I'm like, well, if the IR blaster goes across the top here, the IR blaster is not going to work through there, but it does work through the power button. There is a little IR underneath there as well. I have tested out. It does work perfectly fine. So just keep that under your hat. It does work. So looking at the covering on the bottom, it is a fairly large panel door because you do have the 3.5mm headphone jack as well as the micro USB charging port down here. It is accessible if we go and grab L-shape 3.5 jack. So fully accessible, can spin it around in there, no problem. Standard straight line, 3.5mm, also no problems. And your micro USB charging cable, no problems. The only caveat that I have with this is the weight of the door does concern me a little bit, even though it seals up like airtight, so you don't, well, not airtight, but it does seal up tight to keep the dust out. The weight of the door on the ports when I have something plugged into them does concern me a little bit, that it may over time weaken the connection inside the phone or kill my cable. That's just one thing to think about. Now, I've done a case review in the past, and one of the bones of contention that I was presented with was I did not show the removal of the case, because I figured once you get a case, you're only going to use that case and it's going to live on your phone forever. Well, I was wrong. So I'm going to show you how to remove the commuter case from the HTC One M8 here. Now, like I said, the backing is plastic so that you can slip it in and out of your pocket. Now, the rubber on it will attract dust in your pocket, as any one of these types of cases will. If you get the case from Otterbox, the outer layer and inner layer will give you a plethora of color choices, which I'll list in the description area below, which will allow you to customize the look of your case. Now, if you get it from something like Amazon, they only have pre-assembled colors, which is why we have this aqua blue on teal number here. It's my wife's phone, so she likes bright colors. So the easiest way to pull this apart, I found, and this is going to be tricky to do off camera, is if you kind of lean it against something, in this case I was leaning it against my leg, and pull up in that upper corner there by the power switch. Once you do that, you just work it from the corner, pull it apart, and there you go. It's back to being in two pieces. You take the rubberized gasket off and you're good to go. So putting it together one more time, put the gaskets part through first, and then just slowly work the phone. And again, a little tricky doing this around a camera, but there you go. Well, there you go. So if you get this case directly from Otterbox, you're looking at like $40 depending on your color combination. If you get it off of Amazon and you don't really care about the color combinations, $18 is what we got this for. Color combinations, depending, if you get the black one, I believe it's a little cheaper. If you get some of the non-popular colors, you're going to be looking at like the $18 like this. So I've been Wander001. This has been my review of the Otterbox commuter case for HTC One M8. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. Thanks for watching.